support, finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
In a galaxy not so far away, the battle for truth rages on. Smart Wars is a solo exhibition by Rory Wakemup, a Minnesota Chippewa artist who flips the script on Star Wars using humor and regalia. Wakemup challenges colonial narratives and reclaims indigenous values of balance, resilience, and environmental activism. This exhibition runs February 27th through April 5th at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. More information at allmyrelationsarts.org.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for clear skies tonight with a low around 19. Saturday, partly cloudy with a high near 46. And Sunday, a chance for rain with a high around 37. 15 years of Matt McNeil on AM 950 calls for a celebration. Join us Sunday, March 30th at Crooner Supper Club from 2 to 5 p.m. for a special dinner, video tributes, and a live onstage conversation with Nancy Nelson interviewing Matt. Don't miss it. Get tickets now at am950radio.com.
Good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut. He didn't cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Tujank, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. And this portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, we got a jam-packed show, and we got a Fun Fact Friday with Wendy and State Senator Mary Kunesh. But I want to lead off with something that we're starting to do here and doing a little learning here on Native Roots Radio. And we have Haley with the word of the day, and I just want to give you a little applause here. There we go.
Oh, thanks, Dega. Appreciate it. But yeah, we always talk about language revitalization and learning our language of our ancestors. So we are Ho-Chunk. So we are learning a little bit of the Ho-Chunk language of Ho-Chunk Nation in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. We talked about wolf, which was Shunk-Chunk. We talked about dog, which was Shunk, a little bit relatable to the wolf there in language. Mm-hmm. We talked about buffalo, which is Chefji. Chefji is buffalo in Ho-Chunk. I know the Dakota word for buffalo is Tatonka as well.
Yeah.
Learned that from a little movie. But then also today's word, sticking with our current theme of animals, with the start of spring being yesterday, we'll be seeing a lot more of these animals out during dawn and dusk. Do you guys have any guesses on what that animal may be?
Vampire?
Close? No.
A raccoon.
Ooh, that's a good guess, Wendy. No, I'm talking about the deer. Our deer
Oh.
relatives. Yeah. So how we say deer in Ho-Chunk, we say chaw. Chaw for deer. So you see deer out there, you say chaw. And then the word for deer antlers is chaw hey.
Wow.
Chaw hey. Yeah. So using those in a sentence, you could say, while you're driving, look out for those chaw. You don't want those chaw hay going through your windshield.
That's a good one.
There you
Haley.
go. Yeah, deer, chaw, Ho-Chunk word of the day.
Haley, you do a lot of prep work, don't you? That's awesome.
I was saving that one the past couple days.
Oh, cool.
Love it. Love
Awesome.
it.
Awesome.
I thought of the raccoon because we had Rocky here last night.
Yeah.
Oh, your friend.
Yeah, we have a raccoon that comes in the evening when
Yeah.
it's dark, and he comes and eats the leftover seeds that are left over from the birds and squirrels. And
Washes
we always
his
have fresh
hands.
water out there for him too. So he was out there for quite a
Lucky.
while last night.
Yeah, he was.
We call him Rocky.
Lucky him.
It's a big one. Inner city raccoon.
Yeah,
He had a little mask on like he was going to steal something.
he's very cute.
And he was washing his hands when I saw him. He was patting his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it scares.
Wow. Hey, Shunk Junk. We talked about dog, which was Shunk.
With his weekly update.
They are Native Roots Radio. Governor Tony Evers here with my weekly update. This week I'm traveling across our state, meeting with veterans and veteran organizations to talk about new efforts to support them in our state budget. As governor, it's important to me that we protect, defend, and support the veterans who've protected, defended, and supported us. It's why my budget includes key initiatives aimed at supporting Wisconsin's 300,000 veterans and their families once they return to civilian life. We're proposing investments to lower out-of-pocket costs, expand access to health care and mental health services, support stable housing and substance use recovery, make job training and continuing education more affordable, and help veterans access earned benefits, among other key priorities. I'm proposing to expand veterans and surviving spouses' property tax credit to help veterans and their families keep more money in their pockets. That will provide $66 million of tax relief to veterans with disabilities and $23 million in tax relief for veterans who are renters. We're also making critical investments in mental health services and suicide prevention with a $5 million investment in community-based and emergency crisis mental health services. And while here in Wisconsin, we're proud to be ranked 4th in the nation for successfully helping connect veterans with available jobs, we know there is always more work to do. My budget will continue to invest in programs that help veterans with job training, education, counseling, and recovery. With so much uncertainty and chaos happening in Washington and federal actions that are impacting our veterans' lives and livelihoods, it's more important than ever that we take care of our veterans here in Wisconsin. And I urge the legislature to join me by supporting this important work and supporting my budget initiatives to help support our veterans and their families. Thank you. Back to you, Robert, and Native Roots Radio.
Wow, that's awesome. Veterans are so important, and he's putting his money where his mouth is.
Absolutely. They need, support when they get back. They need, like you said, housing and mental health.
4th in jobs, getting veterans to get jobs. That's an amazing statistic.
Yeah.
And the way things are going and all the veteran cuts that are happening in Washington, he's on it. And wow, that was really pretty inspiring to hear.
Yeah. So thankful we have Governor Evers in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, before we get too far into, again, my phobias and fears, Haley, we have had a guest, Lael Hale, on our show a few times, and there's some great news with her documentary, The Electric Indian.
Yeah, so our friend Leah Hale, who's been on the show before, has already been an award-winning director and producer with PBS here in the Twin Cities. Her tribal affiliation sits in Wahpeton, Dakota, and Dene Nations. But we know she had the documentary for The Electric Indian, which is kind of that story about Henry Boucher,
Right.
the Ojibwe hockey legend from War Road, let me say that again, Minnesota. And yeah, Leia and the Electric Indian won Best Documentary at the 2025 Ely, Minnesota Film Festival. Congratulations, Leia.
Yeah, that was so great. And then we've known Henry, and at the store, we've sold Henry's books, autographed
Yeah.
books. He's come down and done a book signing, been on the show many, many times, and he's really missed. And what's interesting too, Haley and Wendy, is that he has his granddaughter in town working at Red Lake College, and they're still doing the work for the community.
Yeah, I remember when she had the documentary screening and they came out for the first time. I went to the film screening here. I think it was in Minneapolis, but a lot of Henry's family and younger generations were there at the screening as well and spoke up a little bit and talked about their favorite memories, like with their grandpa or with their dad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you have some time this weekend, definitely check out The Electric Indian. I think you can just do a Google search and find that on PBS.
Yeah, PBS Minnesota for sure. You'll be able to find that. And again, we were blessed to know Henry, Wendy, and what a class act. And he was very big in the mascot issue in his later life, fighting the mascot issue across Turtle Island, and also keeping their logo up at War Road. Now I'm sounding like
Really
Like, it's hard to say.
It's hard to say two words
War
that starts with
Road.
a W like that.
War Road with the
War
R.
Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have a minute left here.
That was quick. Wow.
It did go by really quick. I want to shout out next Wednesday at the Minnesota State Capitol is Red Lake Nation Day at the Capitol, March 26, 8 a.m. to 4:30.
Yes, we'll be up there celebrating with our relatives. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and up next we got our friend State Senator Mary Kunesh, and then Wendy with, is it going to be fun facts or?
Fun facts.
Wow, bringing back fun
Ooh.
facts. It's going to be fun here on Native Roots Radio. Fun Facts Friday. That's kind of hard to say too. I need a sip of water or something. Hey, Native Roots Radio, we're going to be back after this short break. Everyone, say it together.
Us.
Stay with us.
Stay with us.
Yeah.
Activism in the 21st century takes many forms. For Minnesota Chippewa artist Rory Wakeup, it's Funktivism. He uses humor, satire, and regalia to challenge social and environmental injustice. Smart Wars is Wakeup's latest solo exhibition. It's a bold mix of Indigenous heritage with modern commentary. Through his multimedia art, Wakeup challenges perceptions and sparks conversations about Native resilience, climate action, and truth-telling. See Smart Wars at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis, February 27th through April 5th. Details at allmyrelationsarts.org.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Everyone wants to maximize their dollar. If you're looking for a new vehicle, the only place to go is Rudy Luther Toyota. Consumer Reports Best of 2025 edition has the most reliable vehicles as Toyotas. The Toyota Corolla, RAV4, and RAV4 Prime top the list of the most reliable cars. And Toyotas are fuel efficient, meaning less money at the pumps. Consumer Reports Best of Gas Mileage ranking has the Prius Camry, Corolla Cross Hybrid, RAV4 Hybrid, and the Highlander Hybrid top of their classes. Reliability and fuel efficiency, you'll find them both at Rudy Luther Toyota, 5 miles west of Minneapolis on 394.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by JS Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul. Only the good stuff keeps us awake.
We are awake, and it is Friday, and we have our friend State Senator Mary Kunesh of the great state of Minnesota, and a lot happening. I happened to run into you a few times at the Capitol, but a lot happening here in Minnesota, and I just want to say a big who and welcome to Native Roots Radio.
Thank you so much, Matakiape, everyone.
Well, I got a chance to see you and the other 11 tribal leaders in Minnesota on Monday, and that was a pretty interesting group of people, and I liked what the Upper Sioux guy had to say and the leaders up there. But what was your take? It was always good to see natives at the Capitol and the Senate building.
It is always really good to see Native folks at the Capitol, whether it's in the Senate building or not. Monday was Sovereignty Day here at the Capitol, and we invited all tribal leaders from the 11 tribes. Not all of them were able to make it because of one reason or another, but they sent representatives, and it was really lovely to be able to facilitate the opening, panel and hear all the different tribes talk about what is important to them and what their, kind of the history of their tribe or their band. I think it was really impactful. It was, my honor to be able to host it or co-host it in the Minnesota Senate building. I don't know how many people have been to it, but we've got this big open space in front of the building that faces the Capitol, and it's all glass. And to see the panels from Why Treaties Matter were lined up there, and we had tables out there for people to sit and mingle. It was just really good to hear from our tribal leaders, and I think it's important that our legislators see and hear from the tribal leaders as well.
You say that a lot of the tribes in Minnesota are different, and I know I don't know if you can explain this, but like Red Lake is not a 280 drive. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah. So when we talk about Public Law 280, it's kind of a little bit complicated in that it transferred. This is a legal federal law, basically, that transfers criminal and some civil jurisdiction from federal government to the states. Yeah, and that's only in certain areas. So there's only a few states that agreed to be Public Law 280: Minnesota, California, Nebraska, Oregon, and Wisconsin. And so when the tribes didn't have their own policing or anything like that, and they wanted to, it was decided that, okay, you can, but you have to partner with the county. And Red Lake said, absolutely not. We want to keep the control of our tribes and our public safety on our own terms. So they are not Public Law 280. Sorry about all the background noise.
Really interesting. And I know what's really interesting, and it seems like news is just flying fast, but you were boots on the ground at the Capitol, and then you heard what happened Monday night with a state senator, Eichhorn.
Yeah. That's a tragedy in so many different ways. So Senator Eichhorn is a Republican legislator from Senate District 6, which is up in the Bemidji area. He was caught in a sexting, basically soliciting a minor. And it was, very clear that this was not his first time soliciting in the texts that they passed back and forth. And so he was passing texts from an undercover police, but he was thinking that it was, Eichhorn thought it was a girl, and she told him she was underage, and he still agreed to show up. Sorry about the noise in the background. I've got these two little squirrels here today.
The little squirrels that rhyme with girls.
Squirrely girlies. That's what I call them, my squirrely girls.
It was fun too. They love Grandma because when Grandma started talking, they started talking.
Oh yeah, it's been a busy day. All you know how that is. So anyways, he was picked up, and interesting enough, he was charged first, I think, by the county, and then it turned out to be that they ended up charging him at the federal level, which will give him a lot harder punishment. And when I first heard about this, and we think about sort of the location of where he lives, that's Indian country up there. And we worked so hard on missing and murdered Indigenous women and trying to find solutions to sex trafficking and sex violence up there. It's so interesting because when we were having these hearings for the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Task Force, when we were trying to get that piece of legislation passed, there were these hearings, and people would ask, like, why is this happening, and where is it happening, and who are the predators? I mean, or who's doing this? And we had hearings, and it was asked, like, who is this? What is the profile of a sexual predator? And there was a county attorney from Stearns County that said the profile is a white male, between 30 and 40, with a wife and children, and accessible income.
Wow.
And that was really interesting because so many times people think that it's native on native violence or sex trafficking, but actually it is, I think, 90% non-native. So the fact that this is happening everywhere is no surprise to anyone, but I think it's really important to know that there are really stringent consequences to that kind of behavior. And this was a GOP member that really expounded on family values. And there's a video out there of him where, every Sunday I kiss my wife and children come by and come down and fight against those crazy liberals, who want LGBTQ rights and things like that. So, it was really disheartening. But nonetheless, he did resign. They were going to expel him. Or we were going to expel him, but his party called for his resignation almost immediately, and as did the DFL, and he did. And so now there will be a special election up there. So if you're a good candidate up in Senate District 6 in the Grand Rapids, Bemidji area, consider running for the Senate. I'll be there. Reach out to me. We'll help you. But that was just a really sad situation all the way around.
It's interesting, that ad that you talked about. I was surprised that KSTP, when they did their news yesterday, they played part of that ad, and it was a sob story of all the hours he had to drive away from his family, and it's really interesting too. We talked about this earlier this week, Haley and State Senator, about how he had the Trump bill, and also he's all for killing wolves, and so the irony that sets upon Native Roots Radio and Native people with this person getting caught, and it's more than he's done this more than once is not past us here on Native Roots Radio.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard for his family. It's hard for his community. And it's kind of horrifying to know that he actually sat right in front of me on the floor of the Senate, he was there every single day, and obviously this had been going on. So I just hope that, if we get a DFLer in there, hooray, hooray, hooray.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I hope that they're able to elect somebody with higher moral standards, I should say.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we're talking about her week, and we're just stuck on Monday right now. And I know there's more things to talk about, but these are important issues and really a lot of good things that you brought up that we haven't brought up this week. So really good insight to what's happening here in the state of Minnesota and with our politicians here. And I take a deep sigh here, but we got the great state of Minnesota State Senator Mary Kunesh on, and we're going to have another segment. This is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back, Haley, after this short break.
Stay with us.
Oh,
Greg Bakken here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Progressive change doesn't just happen. It takes dedication and a lot of hard work. 25 years ago, the DataBank pioneered a new generation of software tools for progressive organizations here in Minnesota. Since then, thousands of organizations have used the DataBank to create progressive change. Today, the DataBank continues to help progressive organizations like AM 950. To have the DataBank help your organization build capacity and create more change, text CHANGE to 612-540-0500 or go to thedatabank.com. The DataBank, a quarter century of dedication and hard work for progressive organizations.
Think your company's safe? Your staff is working from home, right? As I speak, cyber criminals are mounting attacks across the country. Remember, when we're weakest, cyber criminals attack. Hi, Mark Sommerfeld from Rymark. The Rymark team is guiding our clients through these difficult times. In fact, demand has been so high, we created an easy-to-follow guide. It's yours free. Download our 5 steps to securely work from home now at rymarkit.com or call 651-328-8900 for a no-cost how-to discussion.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. Even though Auto Technical is a small nonprofit, we have helped more families with transportation than any organization in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak.
And I'm Adam Ostrowski.
We are here at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces to talk about the joy of live fire cooking. Cooking over a live fire is the oldest and most basic form of cooking.
What's new is in the way a fire is handled and its heat is managed.
It's easier to experience and enjoy the smell and taste of food cooked over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces sells and installs live fire grills, fire pits, and ovens. Let us help you experience the smell, the taste, the fun of cooking with fire.
Pizza was first made and is still best made in an open fire oven. The radiant and conductive heat of a live fire is unmatched for wood roasting and baking artisan breads too.
Come see the many ways you can cook over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for clear skies tonight with a low around 19. Saturday, partly cloudy with a high near 46. And Sunday, a chance for rain with a high around 37. Craving authentic Szechuan and Mandarin flavors? Visit the Great Wall Restaurant for hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, sesame chicken, and more. Located at 4515 France Avenue South. For takeout, call 952-927-4439 or check out their full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Anine, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, they do. Hey, we are here with our friend State Senator Mary Kunesh of the great state of Minnesota, and we're talking a little local politics, but also I'd like to go back to Sovereignty Day and that whole process before possibly later in the day you got derailed with all this information about your former colleague. And I like saying former colleague, but a lot of good things came from Sovereignty Day at the Capitol.
Yeah, I ended my day presenting a bill in front of the Veterans Committee to create a memorial to the Indigenous veterans that have served forever and ever in a day. We know that our veterans, our Native veterans, have served in every single war since the Revolutionary War. They've been there. And so I think it's really important that we recognize that and make sure that there are, reminders of what we are doing or what has happened with our veterans. Not only do they serve at the highest rates, but they oftentimes are, I don't know why, but they don't draw down the benefits that are due to them around education, healthcare, housing, those sort of things. And so we want to bring a reminder. I remember when there was the Vets Memorial in Washington, D.C., the one out at the Smithsonian Institute. Interesting enough, that one has not been pulled down or removed. Right. But I was there and it was just incredible. I mean, I'll never forget seeing all these Native people in their uniforms. There was a big powwow and celebration, and the women jingle dancer, women who were serving in the military. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. And I'm just going to grab something real quick. I think it's even more important today in this day and age that we remember these veterans, because did you hear about the web record of the two Iwo Jima flag raisers was erased in in Trump's DEI purge?
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? Yeah.
Ira and also from Ho Chunk Nation, we have a Bronze Star winner that we have a powwow grounds named after, and he was erased too, and he saved over 10 people's lives before in the Korean conflict.
Yeah, I think it's horrible. And I have this article here where it says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was vigorously supported an executive order that Trump issued on his first day in office, banning DEI from federal government programs and contracts, which he claimed were immoral and wasteful. And so in this push for DEI, they purged all of these things, and it's so terrible. It said Doge, which the Task and Purpose, the website Task and Purpose, which covers military news, reported that Arlington National Cemetery has removed links on its website to information about prominent Black, Hispanic, female service members, along with material on topics such as the Civil War. And we know the Civil War is slavery and Black folks.
Right.
It's terrible. It's just absolutely terrible that this is happening. And so,
well, we talk about the hypocritical nature of the Republicans in Minnesota, but nationally, I know there's a senator who was she was a Air Force pilot and is now a Republican senator, and she would not get the support through if DEI wasn't around, and yet she's talking out of both sides of her mouth saying that that's a good thing, but she would have never became a fighter pilot if that was DEI was not in the works when she was applying for school and become a fighter pilot.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, sometimes I wonder, are people in that self-preservation mode, or that it's sort of like picking on when you've been bullied, when you've been picked on, then oftentimes that person will then perpetuate that.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just horrible. I mean, here in Minnesota, our National Guard members received an email that instructed those with gender dysphoria to voluntarily separate from Minnesota's National Guard. So it's not just at that national level, it's here in Minnesota. And, you know, I don't know about you, but I never would really be interested in serving in the military. So those that step up to do it, you know, no matter what, I'm just really horrified and appalled. So long story short, I think it's even more important that we get this memorial out there and recognize that service of others.
Well, it's interesting. My dad was in World War II and the Korean conflict, which was in between 9 years of the ending of World War II in Korea. But when I was in high school, I had just witnessed Vietnam and being on the news every day. And they started selective service again when I was a senior in high school in '79.
Yeah.
And I was ready to go to Canada.
Yeah.
If, you know, but so I know what you mean by not wanting to serve. It was a whole different thing, and the way they did it with the draft with just poor people and not going to college and all these things. And now there's a backdoor draft where, you know, it looks like if you're in the reserves that you're the first to be called into. So yeah, I know what you're saying there. Really interesting how things have flipped though too, with being patriotic, some being more patriotic than others, and then all people realizing too that, you know, old people make these decisions to kill young people off to war.
Yeah, I somebody did tell me that there's a suggestion that he would bring back the
draft.
Drafting, yeah, the draft, yeah.
Well, if he's going to be attacking Canada and all these other countries, I suppose they need a bigger service.
Yeah, that's sort of scary. The other awful thing that came out of Trump's executive orders, I don't know if you heard that, but the executive order to dismantle the Department of Education came through last night or yesterday afternoon. And they said it can't be totally dismantled without Congress's approval, but he told them to, you know, basically scale it back to the bare minimum that is legally has to be done. And so I think there's one department that collects all the data, and because of the data, that's how they know the grants to send to states and, all this different data information that they use, they went from 100 employees down to 3.
Yep.
And expect it to function. So, I'm a public school teacher. I'm the chair of education finance in Minnesota. So it's my job to figure out how we're going to best fund public education. And I just don't know how to even begin to figure out a budget. This is a budget year. We have to have a budget. And so I'm just very worried that after we put something together here in Minnesota, there will be all kinds of confusion and chaos that will come down. And we'll have to go back time and time again into special sessions to figure out how to either meet or get around any of these these executive orders, because, if we can't, so the Department of Education also deals with Title I, which are kids with disability and our low-income folks. So if they start messing with that and we don't have the dollars that we usually get, I think we get about $1.4 billion a year from the federal government. And where do we fill that hole? How do we fill that hole here in Minnesota?
Right.
And so I think this is exactly what they wanted: chaos, confusion. Not people, states are like, I don't know what to do if I support the diversity. Like there are school districts in Minnesota that won't allow posters like "You are welcome" or "All are welcome here" or "Black Lives Matters." They made them pull them all down.
Yep.
And even though we outlawed book banning, there are school districts that are pulling books off the shelf that have to do, like wiping out all the information on slavery and segregation. I don't know what they've done to, about wiping out American Indians other than the example we gave. But there's just so much that we don't know, and we don't know how to plan for.
Well, I know this too, as a former teacher, we always were waiting. It seemed like
I can't hear you, Robert.
It seemed like, can you hear me, Haley?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can. I don't know what happened.
Haley.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Well,
we have about a minute left here.
Well, sorry about that. I had a really cool question, and I'm sorry that you can't hear me. Maybe you can take the show out, Haley, so Senator Kunesh can see you to our constituents that are listening.
What? She can't hear me. But yeah.
She can't hear you either? This is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be back on the next segment. Please stay with us. We are rocking and rolling. And again, big Peeny Gigi, State Senator Mary Kunesh, for being on every week. What a rock star. Stay with us.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Everyone knows I love Rudy Luther Toyota, but do you know who else loves Toyotas? Consumer Reports. They're out with their best of 2025 auto issue, and once again, it reads Toyota, Toyota, Toyota. Of the new 2025 models, Consumer Reports recommends the Prius, Corolla, Corolla Hybrid, the Camry, the Sienna, the Corolla Cross Hybrid, the RAV4, the RAV4 Hybrid, the Highlander, and the Highlander Hybrid. In almost every class, you'll find a Toyota. Find one for yourself at Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jin Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
We speak wolf. That means no. Oh,
yeah.
Hey, I want to reintroduce Wendy, my awesome and beautiful wife. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many, many years, and she's a co-founder of Native Roots Radio. And then we used to do a show called Pilot's Progressive Party too on AM 950, and that was a lot of fun. And you're a veteran here, and you are a co-founder of Native Roots Radio and an animal advocate, and I want to welcome you.
Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajingo, which means walks on white clouds. I am a policy volunteer for the Humane World for Animals. Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States. And I work on animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that. But
rolled off your tongue. That was good.
It didn't. I have it still in front of me. It's still not rolling it. You know how you have to practice that until it happens. But anyway, I was reading an article earlier about an Italian fisherman.
Oh,
yeah. I'm going to see if I could pronounce his name. Paolo Fansuilli. Paolo. Yeah.
Really
So anyway, he's a like a local fisherman, and he works in the Mediterranean Sea. And he was really getting upset about these illegal big giant ocean liners that come in with their trawling nets.
Oh yeah.
So the trawling nets come and they put the nets down, and the boat goes, like the ship goes, and in its way it mangles up everything on the ocean floor.
Jeez.
You know, the carbon stores, the coral reefs, all the seagrass beds, so that all the the animals and the wildlife in the ocean could live there. And that's what these big trawlers do. But what he did was he got in touch with a whole bunch of Italian sculptors, and what they did was he devised a plan to make these big, giant, tremendous marble sculptures.
Oh.
And what they do is they put them on the bottom of the ocean. So when these big boats come with their trawling nets and they're scraping against the ocean floor, these big marble structures in the bottom of the ocean floor are cutting the nets.
Yes.
The nets are getting stuck, and they can't do this fishing because they when they fish like this, they get everything in there, right? They get dolphins, they get all kinds of wildlife that they don't want in there. But anyway, him and his sculptoring friends have put over 80 of these sculptures down. I mean, they're giant. They're like as big as this room, and they're really seeing a difference. So the bed of the ocean floor is rejuvenating.
Thank goodness.
The seagrass is growing. They're seeing more lobsters in the area. They're seeing more sea creatures going there, even dolphins. So I really want to give Paolo a shout out for taking care of our fish and the ocean floor and our ocean creatures. So
I just
yeah, I mean, we have to do that. We can't have these big nets that come and just take away
Destroy
everything. We're not
everything.
going to have any fish. Most of the fish that you buy anyway nowadays are from fish farms, which are really nasty.
Exactly. That's a different segment.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
a whole different segment. Let's do some fun facts.
Yeah.
So
Let's see if you can stump Haley and
well,
I.
some of these are really easy. Some of these we've talked about before, so we're going to see.
I know
we are
Haley's
gonna
got a good
see.
young memory.
So we're talking about dogs, but there's a dog breed that has a black tongue. Do you guys remember the name of that breed of
Is it a
dog
boxer?
that has a black tongue? No, kind of close. No, it's a chow chow.
Oh, I would have known.
So
I remember you
chow,
said
those dogs have black tongues.
And what's the significance so they don't get sunburn or?
I have no idea the reason. I could maybe look that up, but it's probably just genetic, and they've had it, in their generation and their genes for hundreds of years. So
you can bring that up for a fun fact next week then.
Okay, I could look that up. So and then what kind of, since we're on dogs, dogs can't see every color that we see.
Right.
So the question is, can dogs see the color red?
Yes.
Red?
I think red.
No.
Haley is right. Dogs cannot see the color red. They cannot. Their eyes perceive yellow and blue, but cannot see ranges from green to red. So I think when their tennis balls are yellow, and a lot of dog toys that you see in the pet stores are yellow because they can see yellow. Yeah.
Dog's staring at me like
I
I'm
know.
a pork chop.
Oh no. So here's a question, and I didn't know this. How many teeth does a shark have?
Oh, 72.
They have 200. They have 3,000 teeth.
Oh, way off both.
Yeah.
I said 72.
I know.
I thought
That's like another animal that people perceive of being really scary. A shark.
Well, because they have Shark Week.
I know.
And it's all about destroying boats and Jaws.
I know.
The movie Jaws.
If you think about it, all the millions and people in the ocean all the time swimming and
get a few shark attacks.
When you do get a shark attack, it's pretty bad, but it doesn't happen very often. And humans kill more sharks a day than anybody gets killed by a shark.
So they kind of deserve it.
Well, because they make that shark fin soup.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's right.
So what's the difference between an African and Asian elephant? We talked about this one time, and you guys had to actually.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like the ears or something.
Yes, that's right, Haley.
Dang.
Yeah.
Their ears. African elephants have larger ears, and Asian elephants have smaller ears.
The better to hear you.
I know. Which mammal has the most powerful bite in the world?
Alligator.
A mammal.
Oh,
An alligator is not a mammal. An
Okay.
alligator has lays eggs.
a beaver.
Don't they lay eggs? Yes.
A beaver.
Has the most powerful bite in the world.
Yeah, you see what they do to trees and make dams?
Yeah.
Is it like the hippo or something?
It is the hippo.
Are you looking things up, Haley?
Haley's
No,
gonna
I
also
didn't.
have a prize for you, Haley.
I remember you said that one before. Yeah. Studied for that one.
Yeah. What is a male swan called? Does anybody have any idea?
Swanee. Swanee.
I did not know this.
Swanee.
A cob. A cob.
Oh.
C-O-B, a
corn?
cob.
Corn
Yeah, I'm in there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Ty Cobb.
I know.
Baseball.
So, a rhinoceroses,
Impossorosis.
their horn. Do you know what their horn is made of?
Rhino.
Bone cartilage.
Yeah, close. Keratin. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Smart.
It's just keratin. I mean, I don't know why people are killing these rhinoceroses for their horns.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another whole segment, right?
Yeah, we've talked about that over the years.
What is the tallest species of penguins?
The black and white ones.
Yes, and they are called emperor
Emperor.
Aren't they all black and white? Wait a
No,
minute.
there's little small ones, and they have different colors.
Wait,
but the emperor
wait,
penguin,
Haley.
and they're pretty big. They're like 3 or 4.
I don't think Haley knew the answer there. She
No, I
just-
did. Emperor. Penguin.
What is the heaviest species of monkey?
Oh, orangutan.
Oh, it's called a mandrill. I'd have to
Oh.
look that up. Mandrill.
Wow, Wendy,
Yeah.
some fun
So
facts
these are
here
some fun facts.
from Wendy Pilot. Cares for them. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We'll see you next week. If you're listening to us, you're part of the resistance. Stay tough, everyone. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.